Well, Tucker, this has been quite a week. The drip of the Russia saga continues. Now the big push to, I guess, take Jared Kushner's security clearance away. And where does this stand now?
Well, I've never seen hysteria like this. And what bothers me more than anything is the long-term effect on our foreign policy or America's ability to act in its own interest abroad when you decide that any dealings with Russia, no matter how conventional, are a sign of collaboration with Russia. And I'm not talking about Donald Trump's meeting with the Russian lawyer, but I mean a rational discussion over sanctions or cooperation in Syria to fight Sunni extremism. You know, the kind of normal conversations you'd have about how to ally with certain countries in certain circumstances. All of that is not allowed now because it's a sign that you're a traitor to the country, you're unpatriotic, you know, you're a quisling working for Putin. It's insane. And it actually, what Democrats are forgetting is that Russia is a real country with borders and a massive energy supply and a nuclear arsenal and, like, interests that in some cases intersect with ours. And it's hurting America in practical terms, in real terms. It's narrowing our choices in the way we act abroad. It's totally reckless and crazy. And it's also, by the way, frivolous. Like, there are all kinds of things you could say about the Trump administration, criticisms you could level that I might agree with. But the idea that they are, you know, partnering with Vladimir Putin is insane. It's actually insane. Like, it doesn't bear any resemblance to reality. And if you press these guys, I had a congressman on last night. They hacked the election. Okay, what exactly did they do to, I mean, like, let's get to the core allegation here. What did they do? And he's like, well, something about RT. You know, they're like stupid left-wing cable network like that. All of a sudden, the Congress thinks that RT's existence is, you know, subverting democracy. I mean, it's nuts.
Well, and in fact, what Russia does, Russia has, over the last several years, cracked down on other media outlets and non-governmental organizations, NGOs. They've kicked a bunch of NGOs out. It seems like we're becoming as paranoid as Russia, you know, is. And it's exactly that sad. I mean, are we that fearful of our ability to work through an issue that we have to become absolutely obsessed with one topic to the exclusion of all others? But I would agree with you. I mean, the Pavlovian obsession to this, and even some of our friends on Fox. I mean, Charles Krauthammer, I know he was on with you last night, but he's like, well, even unsuccessful collusion is collusion, and this is a breaking of the civic code of politics. I'm like, I don't know where you've been, Charles, but the civic code of politics is out the door a long time ago. I mean, come on. We got like flexibility with Medvedev. We got like open servers of Hillary's. We got Huma Abedin, you know, sending thousands of emails to unsecured computers. We got this nonsense with Fast and Furious. I mean, the list goes on and on and on, but now we're suddenly talking about a civic code of honor. Oh, please.
Well, the irony, of course, is since, you know, you live here, I live here, we've both been here a long time, and we both know that there are a lot of countries that have material effects on our policies, not just foreign, but domestic. Massive. I mean, there's all kinds of foreign influence on our government all the time, and I must know 100 people who are taking money from foreign governments. The Saudis are right near the top of the list, and you know, sometimes it's fine and sometimes it's bad, but nobody ever says anything about it. And the idea that Russia is even on the top 10 list of countries that influence us is insane. It's a lie. And anyone who lives here knows that. And you know exactly what I'm talking about. We come under all kinds of pressure. I mean, the King of Jordan's always, and I like to, you know, I'm not against the King of Jordan. I like a lot of these countries, but their interests are not exactly the same as ours. And they wind up influencing us in very specific and meaningful ways. And Russia doesn't. So, like, you want to have a conversation about foreign influence? Okay, let's do it. But nobody does, of course, because this is like purely partisan and stupid. It has nothing to do with, like, helping the country. It has to do with destroying Trump, whom they hate. And they hate him, by the way, for the wrong reasons, in my opinion.
Well, one of the things that I like to ask a question is, for all of the bile and all of the accusations and concern directed at Russia, where is that concern directed at China, or when is that concern directed at China?
Well, exactly.
China always gets a free pass despite having hacked into our government computers, the stealing of our intellectual property, all the economic crimes that they commit against our businesses on a daily basis. The prisoner, the political prisoner, Nobel Prize winner who dies conveniently in Chinese custody. Are we going to have the version of the Magnitsky Act against China? I think not, and I think we all know why. Ka-ching.
Yeah, I mean, the truth is, one of the reasons the left hates Putin is because he's an out-of-the-closet nationalist. And, I'm not sure how sincere any of this is, but in his public statements, he's certainly an ardent social conservative, and they hate that. I mean, he gives speeches on television in Russia about the importance of maintaining a high birth rate and the importance of the Orthodox Church. And again, look, I don't think that Putin is any kind of, sincere, passionate Christian. Maybe he is. I have no idea. But that's what he says in public, and it's deeply offensive to the American cultural left. Like, they hate him. It's one of the reasons they don't like him. And also, by the way, let's be totally honest, the United States and our foreign policy establishment and our banking establishment kind of shafted Russia under the two Yeltsin terms. I mean, basically, Yeltsin sold everything of value in the country to the West. A small number of Russians and a lot of people in the West got really rich because of this. The very people who hate Russia are some of the people who benefited from, the chaos after the fall of the Soviet Union in 1991. I mean, this is a lot more complicated than people are saying out loud.
We're talking to Tucker Carlson here on the Laura Ingraham Show. Paul Begala was on, where was he, CNN, last night. Let's listen.
We were and are under attack by a hostile foreign power, and they seem to be abetting that hostile foreign power. We should be debating how many sanctions we should place on Russia, or whether we should blow up the KGB or GSU, GRU. We should be retaliating massively.
That's quite something, I guess. Now the left wants to bomb the FSB, former KGB building in the middle of Moscow. That'd be dramatic.
Well, but they're going to have to get in line because there's a long list of places they're pushing the United States military to bomb. I mean, first we have to take out Assad because, and then of course, we've got to go to war with Iran because, there have been all those Shiite attacks on Americans in the United States. And, oh wait, no, none. But whatever, we got to take out Iran, and then we've got to take out Russia, and then we'll get to the real list of America's enemies. No, I mean, one of the most amazing things for me to watch over the past 10 years is the transformation of Democrats in Washington from the party of peace, supposedly, to the sort of bloodthirsty warmonger parties, like just psyched for war for its own sake. I mean, it was Hillary Clinton who pushed for the killing of Gaddafi in Libya for no obvious reason. I mean, he was actually helping the United States to some extent, and had gotten rid of his chem bio arsenal and all that stuff, but we needed to kill him because he was bad, It was
amazing to see the skepticism or downright criticism of the ceasefire in Syria. One sector of Syria, Russia and the United States agreed to this. I was actually heartened to see that the president would go ahead and meet with Putin, even despite the fact that he knew that there would be unending criticism and scrutiny of body language and time of meeting and length of meeting and attendees of meeting. But he went ahead and did it anyway, because I actually believe that he thinks if we could have a better relationship with important countries where we have some common interests, things would get better for the country. But he did it anyway. Like, I actually wondered whether he even would meet with Putin just because of the scrutiny that would be placed on the meeting, but he went ahead and did it.
Well, sure, because, I mean, one of the main sources of instability in the world is the ongoing civil war in Syria, and if you are going to try to affect its outcome, you have to deal with Russia, you have to deal, to some extent, with Iran. And it's just interesting, the lobbies within Washington who are pushing against that. I mean, the recklessness of some of these people who are supposed to be smart and well-educated and serious, thoughtful. I mean, I was talking to someone the other night, and I asked the obvious question, which is, if we bump off Assad and the Assad regime, who runs Syria? And this person who is purportedly smart said, well, the Kurds. Oh, the Kurds. The Kurds are going to take over Syria. What percentage of Syria is Kurdish? I mean, it's like nuts, actually. I mean, that's like saying the Hare Krishnas should take over Syria because they've got a pretty good chance of running. I mean, it's like, it's not reality-based at all. And the reason is these people don't think through the next step. The same people who basically destroyed the entire region with a faith-based foreign policy are now telling us, you know what, let's just kill Assad and everything will be fine. People who talk like that that doesn't mean they're bad people or they should be put in prison or anything, but they should be barred by popular consensus from ever commenting on foreign policy again, because they're demonstrably stupid and reckless.
And they've been repeatedly wrong on critical issues. How did that Ralph Peters segment that you did where he compared you to Charles Lindbergh, I mean, how did that end in the, afterward when the segment ended? Was it just like laughing it up, that was quite a back and forth?
Well, I mean, I wasn't mad. I was actually kind of grateful for it. I don't dislike Ralph. I mean, he's a perfectly nice guy. I know that you know him.
Yeah.
And he's not stupid, but he's, I think, at least during our conversation, has absorbed this, one of the uglier tics of the moment, which is assuming that anyone who doesn't agree with you has evil motives and is a bad person. So, it's, 5 minutes into any conversation on Russia or Syria or Iran.
Well, like Hitler.
Yeah, no, exactly.
Everything's Hitler.
Water for Putin. What?
Everything's Hitler.
I'm agnostic on Putin. I don't have strong feelings about Putin. I don't want to live in Russia. I'm not pro-Assad. I'm not pro-Iran. I'm just asking obvious questions like, what's in America's best interest, which should always be the first question. It's not the first question they ask, by the way. It's not even the third question they ask. And so rather than debate it, I mean, these are real debates. And, I've been wrong many times. And I might be wrong now. But what I believe in above all is a rational debate about what's best for our country. And they don't want to have that debate. They want to end it by calling you names and by attacking your character. And my only point is, that's beneath contempt. That style of debate, which isn't really debate, is disgusting. And, people who engage in that ought to be called out for it. And that's what I tried to do.
Yeah, no, it was great. We enjoyed that. Tucker Carlson, thanks for stopping by. Have a great weekend. We'll be watching tonight. As always, Tucker Carlson tonight on Fox News, 8 p.m. Tucker,
Thanks, Laura.
You take care. We'll take